Hey, welcome back to the podcast, the Evil Dungeon Master Universe podcast. I'm your host, Evil Dungeon Master Vince. Hopefully you're having a great day. Happy Halloween. This is October 31st, All Hallows Eve, is what they call it? Yeah. Samhain, whatever you want to call it. Today is the fun day of that. It also could be a religious day, depending on what type of religion you are. So we're not getting into that. But since it is Halloween, I was sitting around trying to figure out what I wanted to talk about today, since it's Halloween. And, today deserves a Halloween type episode, don't you think? Oh, yeah, theevildm.com is my website. AskTheDM at theevildm.com is my email address. So I want to talk about something for Halloween. And I'm looking through the books, and I was like, well, maybe I'll talk about vampires. And I'm just like, vampires have been done to death. We all play Ravenloft on Halloween and stuff like that. And I was like, maybe I'll talk about werewolves. I'm just like, that's beaten to death too. Then I'm like, well, maybe I'll talk about demons. Demons are always a great topic to talk about around Halloween time because, it's demons. Well, demons are always fun to talk about regardless of what day because the way they act, the way they move, things like that. There's just so many things you could talk about with demons. But I wanted to talk more about demonic possession in AD&D because it's not something that most people talk about because of the rules. There really are no rules for demonic possession except if you flip back to Dragon magazine, or The Dragon at the time it was called, number 20 from 1978, that came out in November after Halloween. There is a variant rule that they come up in the back of the book, Demonic Possessions in the Dungeon. So this article written by Chaz Segu, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. I apologize. You could correct me in the comments if you like. It's at the very, very back of itself. It's one page listed out. And it goes over explaining how the whole process works. Now, it's 1978, right before or at the start of the satanic panic, so to speak. So I believe it started in the early 80s. I remember going through it, and it was just annoying trying to play D&D and people, it's evil, you're going to get possessed by the game. And these things, like articles like this in Dragon Magazine, really didn't help the cause of these religious fanatics thinking, D&D isn't evil, but, we got things like this. So, and they went into other articles about witchcraft, and if you look at the Dungeon Master's Guide, they have all those symbols in it. So you could see why the religious fanatics were all over this game during the time. Meanwhile, the whole problem with the game wasn't the game, it was the people who had mental health issues. The game was just a scapegoat. But let's get into this article now. It's on page 32 of the magazine, which is like pretty much the back. There's only two other pages they add in, I guess, the back cover. So means of possession. Only demons of level 4 or greater and princes are capable of possessing bodies of adventurers. The rule of thumb is that only those demons that are immune to all magical weapons and therefore exist upon two planes at once may possess. The corporeal body of a demon is sent to another plane while the spiritual essence remains in the room, cave, or dungeon or hall or other area. So, in this room, the amulet of the demon must remain on the plane in the world in which the possession takes place. So it doesn't need to be in the same exact area, it just needs to be on the same plane. It need not be in the same, I just said that, it need not be in the same room, must be within 1 mile of the place of possession. Okay, so we got that. Although the demon should be placed by the DM, which type of demon it is, the member of the party affected should be at random. So it could be the first person that comes into the room, the last person, the fourth person, or whatever the DM can roll. They really want you to keep it fair so the player can say he's being picked on. So that any member of the party may be a victim and to preserve fair play. I would probably, if I was going to do this and set this up, I would probably write it down in my notes for this room as a random roll, just to keep it fair. If I had 4 party members, I'd just roll a d4 or something. That's why it's always important I ask people if they go into rooms so I know who is in the room. And a lot of times they get nervous when they hear that, but I have to know who's in the room, especially if we're not playing with minis. We always play with Theater of the Mind, so I need to go, are you all entering the room? I need to know. And they really get cautious when they say that, so. But I understand why. Now, we get on to the possession part. Once the person has been decided, all members of the party that enter the room are told they feel an oppressive presence in the room and are asked to roll a die for a saving throw. If upon his turn the victim does not save versus spells, he is possessed. Paladins and clerics get a +1 on saving throws, and princes, if you happen to pick a prince instead of a type 4, causing -2 or a -2 on the saving throws. If the save is made by no one in the party, then nobody is possessed. Only one demon will inhabit a body at one time, and only one member will be possessed in the party at one time. All right. So the party walks in the room. You ask them all make a saving throw versus spells. They all pass. Demon doesn't get to possess anybody. You move on. Somebody fails. That person gets possessed. Now, the effects of possession, they go on to that as well. The the possessed member of the party has the same armor class as the victim possessed before the possession. They may use any weapon except those aligned lawful, regardless of previous character class. So the demon is going to shed anything that's going to be against its kind of alignment or what they would normally use, regardless of what the character is. So that's kind of a telltale sign if someone is possessed in the game, if you're looking for that. Normally, you wouldn't be looking for that, so you would probably just be like, what? So if it's let's say a paladin and he gets possessed and has the Holy Avenger, he would probably just drop the Holy Avenger and you'd be like, why did you drop your sword? Well, I don't need it anymore. They're going to try to hide their presence as well, though the telltale sign is they're just dropping random things on them that they valued before. Let's see here. They attack using weapons as whatever level the demon they are rather than the level of the victim. The demon, while in possession, retains all of his powers except for the ability to gate. Naturally, the demon may not do things that are not precluded by his new shape, no physical fight without wings or no immolation. All hits and damage is taken by the infested body rather than the demon itself. Just like when you've watched any movie that you've seen or read a book about demonic possession, the body itself deteriorates. The demon could give two shits about the body because it's just a vessel for them. They don't get hurt by it. Upon being possessed, the person will either at once fight to the death or continue with the party, feeling no ill effect until the possessing demon chooses to take control. So, as the DM, you have a choice here. You can have the person possessed and the player not really even know it. And then, as soon as you want, boom, the demon takes over. Possession usually takes a little while. It's not an instantaneous thing if you've read books and watched movies, and you could use that as an example. People usually get possessed, they slowly deteriorate. Maybe the demon is eating its way through this person and taking control. And you could do some little things as a DM by every once in a while having their character like walk off to different directions, or maybe in the middle of a fight they decide they don't want to fight anymore, and things like that. And you have to work with the player on this one a little bit. Can't take over the character completely at first because they're going to get annoyed. Though, if you're possessed, you're possessed, so too bad. This is back when there was no such thing as player agency, so. Okay, here. In any event, the possessed person will register on Detect Evil and will react violently to holy water, except for a few extreme cases of female. There is a little reaction to the presence of a cross. So I'm not sure how that really works out, but okay. Paladins with the power to detect will recognize possession immediately. So a paladin who can detect evil will instantly know if they're using the ability that you're evil and you are possessed. According to this, immediately will know. If and when you are detected as a possessing demon, they will instantly use the body to attack. One of the first actions of the victim may be to give away may give away their presence is they divest themselves of all aligned weapons and equipment. So, like I said before, they're going to start throwing their shit down that they don't like because it hurts them because of their alignment. The victims will lose no points to alignment shock and will feel intense pain in their presence. I don't think a victim or a possessee should be penalized if he's possessed because of his alignment change. That'd be stupid. So, I mean, I know they have to list it there because some DMs would be like, "No, you were chaotic evil, so and you're a lawful good paladin, and you attacked that little person." So, no, it doesn't work that way. If you're going to lose control of your character, you're not going to be penalized for alignment change. Restraint of the demon possessed individual is almost impossible. They're able to break all ropes and leather restraints and all but the strongest chains. They may be subdued by 2 or more fighters with strength of at least 1801 or higher. Demon princes may not be subdued in that manner. If and when a party member chooses to fight after being possessed, there is a good chance that he will discard treasure, shields, helms, weapons not in use, and any encumbrance not directly involved with inflicting bodily harm upon other members of the party. So anything that's going to weigh them down or deteriorate them or not against them, they're just going to toss. Spells can be cast in order to subdue the possessed person, but they have their demonic spell resistance and they may not be affected. So depending on the type of demon, they could have a magic resistance going on them of somewhat of 20 to plus percentage. Who knows? The actions of the person while possessed are controlled by the demon, so no chaotic action will be held against them. Again, they're reinforcing the fact that this character is being controlled and they don't have free will, so it's not against their alignment. So you can't be penalized. Again, you have to note this because there's some people out there. At the death of the host body, the demon may attempt, at a 20% chance, to possess the person who struck the killing blow, unless they were a lawful cleric or a paladin. The save for this is the save versus death ray because the victim is aware of the demon's presence. So if you're dealing the blow to kill the possessed person and you are not lawful cleric or you're not a paladin, there's a 20% chance he's going to try to possess you, but you do get a saving throw. So you're going to roll your 20% chance. Does he try to possess you? Yes. Now you got to roll your saving throw versus death ray because you're aware of this. Boom. If the demon does not choose to possess, or if the saving throw is made, the demon will either stay in the spiritual form and not attack, 35% chance, transport his spirit to the plane where his body is and stay there, 35%, or transport his corporeal body to the room he is in and continue the fight no matter what for 30% chance. If the victim is raised after the death, there is a slight 10% chance of the demon repossessing the body after the difficult saving throw versus death ray is attempted. So you get killed, you get raised, the demon's like, maybe I'll just jump right back into this body. 10% chance saving throw. Now they go on to exorcism because you can exorcise a demon, and I'm not talking about, having them do calisthenics or anything. I'm talking about the old traditional, the power of Christ compels you exorcism. Every 5 rounds after 2 rounds of preparation, no fighting, a cleric may attempt to exorcise the demon. The ability to exorcise is in direct proportion to the ability to turn undead. If turn away is indicated for the chart, the demon is expelled and reacts if the body was killed, except for further attempts as possession. If dispelled is indicated, the demon is expelled and banished to the plane upon which his corporeal body rests. Regular demons are rolled as wraiths, so you look on the wraith chart for that. Demon princes are rolled as specters. You look on that chart pretty much. If the demon is driven from the body in this manner, there can be no repossession. Now, if the amulet of the prince or the demon is found, he may be ordered to return to his body on whatever plane it is lodged and leave the victim unhurt. This may be done. And the amulet discarded without the attendant of dangers using the demon's amulet. Demons cannot possess a person who is in control of the amulet if a person once possessed comes into contact with the amulet and the possessing demon causes... Wait, hold on. And if a person once possessed comes into contact with the amulet of the demon possessing him, it causes instant death. So you come in contact with that amulet and you're possessed at the time, you're going to be dead. Remove curse or limited wish can occasionally work an exorcism, but the demon gets a saving throw at a 13th level cleric versus death ray. Wow. A full wish, which is generally the most powerful thing in the game whatsoever, is more effective with the demon getting a saving throw at 9th level cleric versus dragon breath. Princes get a +2 on these saves. So the most powerful thing in the game is what is it basically a wish. Still, it's not guaranteed to get rid of a possession because the demon still gets a saving throw and a chance not to be affected by a wish. So not only do you blow the wish, there's only a chance that he may not leave. Effects of exorcism, because exorcism has its costs, as we all know. Exorcism is a painful process for a cleric and a victim as well, besides not being able to attempt an exorcism without 2 rounds of not fighting. Each attempt at an exorcism costs a cleric 1d6 hit points. The victim reacts in one of 3 ways. He can be freed and take 1d10 points of damage. 55% chance he can go insane and be treated in usual ways, 25%, or you can drop dead, 20%. That'll add up to 100 if you think about it. If death results, revival may be attempted. If a demon is exorcised by use of the amulet and the command phrase is correctly, there will be no danger to the victim from the exorcism. So, Bench basically gave that amulet is the key. Closing comments here. There is no treasure in the room in which the possession takes place, the wealth being deposited upon the plane with the corporeal body. The demon possessing a human is not looking for a home, usually feels that the body he is taking over is weak and ugly. The only motive of possessing demon to cause is pain and trouble on the victim and the party with a small risk. So, and then they have a one-liner at the very end. Always pay your bills when exercised, or the finance company will repossess you. Ugh, stupid. So, here's the process for it. You can use it in your game. I think it's a little harsh to do this, but hey, if you want to add a little zing to your game here, you can have a room set up in the dungeon where a demon is waiting to possess people. Though, I mean, that'd be a really boring existence for the demon, but, this is what they want to do. And you want to use it as a DM, go for it. I mean, you got the rules right here. Are they 100% fair? No, not really, but that's how AD&D was. A deadly game that's really not fair. You're supposed to run. You're supposed to watch your watch your 6. Look before you run around a corner. Don't make harsh decisions, and not everything is balanced level appropriate. That's how AD&D works, and that's why AD&D was always a deadly game, and not, like the newer games where everything is fair and balanced. So, with that said, tell me what you think about in the comments about demonic possession and how you'd handle it in your game. I'm interested to see. I would maybe try this once just to see, but I'm pretty sure this will probably piss off a lot of people. I would probably change it up to the fact that your character wouldn't die if he is exorcised. I'd give him the ability to be exorcised and be fine, maybe with a possible temporary insanity going towards you. That might make it a little bit more fair. But yeah, demons will do this, and a lot of people forget that demons will try to do this, and demons aren't just, I'm going to stand in the middle of the dungeon and wait for you to find me so you can kill me. That's not really how the demons work. Demons are crafty and cunning and demonic assholes. So with that said, I'm going to head out. Keep it original, keep it old school. Good night. God bless. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and happy Halloween. I'm going to head out. Keep those AD&D fires lit. Good night, everybody.